Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out a simple penny, and realizing that this tiny copper-colored coin could actually be worth thousands of dollars. It sounds unbelievable, but stories like this happen more often than most people think. Hidden among billions of ordinary coins are rare varieties, minting mistakes, and transitional errors that can turn everyday pocket change into a collector's dream. One such coin that continues to fascinate collectors and treasure hunters alike is the 1983 Lincoln penny. At first glance, it looks like any other penny produced during the early 1980s, but beneath its modest appearance lies a fascinating story of metal transitions, rare mint errors, and surprising values that have stunned the numismatic world. The year 1983 was a time of economic recovery in the United States, following the turbulent inflation years of the late 1970s and early 1980s. The United States Mint was still adjusting to one of the most significant changes in modern coinage history. In 1982, the composition of the Lincoln penny changed dramatically. For decades, pennies had been made mostly of copper, weighing 3.11 grams. But rising copper prices made that composition too expensive to continue. The Mint responded by switching to a new planchet made primarily of zinc with a thin copper coating, reducing the weight to 2.5 grams. This shift created one of the most complex and fascinating transitional periods in U.S. coinage history, and the 1983 Lincoln penny sits right in the middle of that story. Most 1983 pennies were struck using the new zinc-based composition. However, as with many transitions at the Mint, a few leftover copper planchets from earlier production years accidentally found their way into the presses. When these older copper blanks were struck with 1983 dies, they created one of the most famous error coins in modern American numismatics. These rare copper 1983 pennies are incredibly scarce and highly sought after by collectors because they represent a transitional error that technically should not exist. Before diving into the rare varieties, it is important to understand the basic design of the 1983 Lincoln penny. The obverse features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design that first appeared in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The portrait was created by sculptor Victor David Brenner, whose initials VDB can still be found at the base of Lincoln's shoulder on modern pennies. Lincoln faces right, his calm expression reflecting the dignity and strength associated with the 16th President of the United States. Above his head appears the word liberty, while the date 1983 is placed to the right. Just above Lincoln's portrait sits the national motto, "In God We Trust." The reverse design used on the 1983 penny is the classic Lincoln Memorial design created by Frank Gasparo. This reverse had been introduced in 1959 to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth and remained in use until 2008. The Lincoln Memorial stands proudly in the center of the coin, and if you look closely, you can actually see a tiny representation of Lincoln's statue inside the memorial. This level of detail has fascinated collectors for decades. The words United States of America appear along the top, while the denomination 1 cent is placed along the bottom. The motto E pluribus unum sits above the memorial. In terms of production, the 1983 Lincoln penny was minted in enormous numbers. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 7.7 billion pennies that year, while the Denver Mint added another 5.6 billion coins bearing the small D Mint mark. With such massive production numbers, most 1983 pennies are extremely common and worth only face value in circulated condition. But within these billions of coins lie several remarkable varieties that can command astonishing prices in the collector market. One of the most famous varieties from this year is the 1983 double die reverse penny. This error occurred when the coin die was improperly manufactured, causing the reverse design to appear doubled. The doubling is particularly noticeable in the words United States of America and 1 cent. When examined under magnification, the letters appear thickened and slightly separated, creating a bold doubling effect that experienced collectors can recognize quickly. The discovery of the 1983 double die reverse created tremendous excitement in the numismatic community. Unlike many subtle double die varieties that require strong magnification to detect, this one is relatively easy to see with the naked eye or a simple magnifying glass. As a result, collectors began searching through rolls of pennies hoping to find this valuable variety hiding among ordinary coins. In circulated condition, A genuine 1983 double-die reverse penny can sell for hundreds of dollars. Well-preserved examples in uncirculated condition often reach values between $1,000 and several $1,000s depending on the grade. Some exceptional pieces certified by professional grading services have sold for more than $10,000, demonstrating just how valuable a small minting mistake can become. But the most valuable 1983 penny is not the double die. The true superstar of this year is the extremely rare 1983 copper transitional era penny. As mentioned earlier, the mint had officially switched to zinc planchets by 1983. However, a few leftover copper blanks from 1982 apparently remained in the production system. When these copper planchets were struck with 1983 dies, they created coins that technically should never have been produced. Identifying one of these rare copper 1983 pennies requires careful measurement and testing. The key indicator is weight. A standard zinc penny weighs about 2.5 grams, while a copper penny weighs approximately 3.11 grams. Collectors often use a small digital scale to check suspicious coins. If a 1983 penny weighs around 3.11 grams, it could potentially be one of these incredibly rare transitional errors. Another clue is the sound the coin makes when dropped gently on a hard surface. Copper pennies produce a slightly higher ringing tone compared to the duller sound of zinc coins. However, weight remains the most reliable method of identification. Only a handful of authentic 1983 copper pennies have been confirmed by professional grading services. Because of their extreme rarity, these coins command extraordinary prices at auction. One verified example sold for more than $15,000, and experts believe that if additional examples appear in high mint state grades, they could potentially reach even higher values. The excitement surrounding the possibility of finding a 1983 copper penny has fueled one of the most popular coin hunting movements among collectors. Many enthusiasts continue to search through old penny rolls obtained from banks, hoping to discover one of these elusive treasures. Even though the odds are extremely small, the possibility keeps collectors motivated and engaged. Another interesting aspect of the 1983 Lincoln penny involves mint state grading. While billions were produced, relatively few examples have survived in pristine condition without scratches, marks, or discoloration. Professional grading services use a scale from 1 to 70 to evaluate coin condition. Coins graded MS65 or higher are considered gem quality and often bring strong premiums in the market. For example, a typical circulated 1983 penny might be worth only 1 cent, but a well-preserved uncirculated example graded MS67 could sell for $50 or more. Coins graded MS68 are extremely rare because the soft zinc core is prone to damage during handling and storage. When such high-grade coins appear at auction, they can attract intense bidding from collectors seeking the finest known specimens. The Denver Mint also produced a notable variety known as the 1983 D double die reverse. This version shows similar doubling on the reverse lettering, though it is somewhat less dramatic than the Philadelphia example. Nevertheless, it remains a valuable collectible that can sell for several $100s depending on condition. Error collectors also watch for off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and die cracks on 1983 pennies. Because the mint was producing coins at such high speed during the early 1980s, occasional mechanical problems resulted in unusual and collectible mistakes. While these errors may not reach the spectacular values of the copper transitional era, they still hold strong appeal among specialized collectors. The popularity of the Lincoln Penny series plays a major role in the value of coins like the 1983 varieties. The Lincoln Cent is one of the longest-running coin series in United States history, spanning more than a century. Millions of collectors build complete sets, searching for every date, mint mark, and variety. When a rare error or transitional coin appears within such a widely collected series, demand can increase dramatically. Another factor that drives interest in the 1983 penny is the idea that valuable coins may still be circulating. Unlike many rare coins that were discovered decades ago and locked away in collections, some 1983 varieties could still be hiding in jars, drawers, or bankrolls. This possibility creates a sense of modern treasure hunting that continues to attract new collectors into the hobby. The story of the 1983 Lincoln penny also highlights the importance of careful observation. Many valuable coins have been discovered simply because someone took the time to examine their change closely. A small magnifying glass and a digital scale can reveal details that transform an ordinary-looking penny into a significant numismatic discovery. Over the years, several collectors have reported finding rare varieties in unexpected places, such as inherited coin collections, old piggy banks, or rolls purchased from local banks. These discoveries reinforce the idea that the next valuable coin might be waiting in anyone's pocket change. Market values for 1983 penny varieties continue to evolve as new examples are discovered and graded. Auction results show that collectors are willing to pay substantial premiums for authenticated coins with strong eye appeal. Bright red uncirculated pieces are particularly desirable because copper-plated zinc pennies tend to discolor over time. The combination of historical context, transitional composition changes, dramatic double-die errors, and the possibility of ultra-rare copper planchet strikes makes the 1983 Lincoln penny one of the most intriguing coins of the modern era. It represents a moment when the United States Mint was adapting to economic pressures while still producing billions of coins for everyday use. For collectors and treasure hunters alike, the 1983 penny serves as a powerful reminder that extraordinary value can hide within the most ordinary objects. A simple 1-cent coin, often overlooked or ignored, can hold a story of industrial change, minting technology, and numismatic excitement that continues to captivate enthusiasts around the world. So the next time you receive a penny in your change, take a moment to look at the date. That small copper-colored coin might just be a piece of history. And if it happens to be a 1983 penny, especially one with unusual weight or doubled lettering, you could be holding a hidden treasure that collectors have been searching for decades to find.